Hello and welcome to Bishop Talk. I am Robert Griffin, and I am with the Global Justice Institute based in New York, but I'm also the executive minister here at the Sunshine Cathedral in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Today on Bishop Talk, I am honored to have with me a wonderful friend and colleague, Reverend Chantell. Reverend Chantell is actually in Botswana. And so today we're going to learn about a project that she and her congregation, her community is working on that the Global Justice Institute is supporting. And so I hope this project will be of interest to you. And I have dubbed this project as the well project because you're going to hear more about what the importance of digging a well will do for Reverend Chantell, her church community, and her community at large. So welcome, Reverend Chantell. How are you today?
I am okay. I am in the very hot desert of Botswana. We are currently experiencing a heat wave, but that is okay. Like Bishop has says, I am Reverend Chantell Fortuin. I reside and I'm based in Botswana, the cattle country. Apparently, we have more cattle than we have people in this country.
Wow.
Um, Yes, that's who I am.
Okay, so Reverend Chanel, can you tell us about how you ended up at the church that you are currently serving? I found that we talked earlier, and that was kind of an interesting process about how you ended up at this particular church, being who you are, being out and proud. So, can you just a little bit about that process, please?
Yes, so I have so I have grown up and I have grown up in the AME church, and I always wanted to serve in the church one way or the other. So I have gone through for the formal process of getting a theological degree at one of our local seminaries, and I've gone through um, the process of being on the board of examiners and being ordained as a deacon in my church. And usually, your after your first appointment, you usually don't get a church. However, I was given a church after my first ordination. And just to find out a little later on that actually the people from that village wanted me to come and pastor their congregation. Now I am a very out and proud Black lesbian woman who has worked openly in advocating for the rights of LGBTI people in Botswana with an organization called the Lesbians, Gays, and Bisexuals of Botswana. I have done so much voluntary work. Um, we started a support group for queer people who would want to reconcile their faith with that support group. And it has grown, and I've grown also in that role, and I've that's how I actually got to get the job that I work now in with the Global Interfaith Network. So it has been an interesting journey for myself, but I can say that the church that I am in, they have really accepted me and they work well with me. This is my I've gotten I they gave me back an appointment to go back to the church because most of the time we serve 1 year. But just recently after our um conference, our church conference, I got appointed back to the same church to go serve for another year.
Well, congratulations on that, and that sounds like the importance of what you're doing there needs to continue to be stabilized because you cast a vision for this community and for this church, and the vision. One of the part of the vision for what we're talking about today is, I mean, I call it the well project, but it's more than just digging a well. So
Yeah.
walk us through a little bit of this project about the importance of just this one item of digging a well, but what it all is connected to. Walk us through some of that.
Yes. So I call it Project Restore.
Mm,
Because I came to a church that was wounded. Um, and you could see that in how the membership was like dropping drastically, and people were not attending church. People sort of don't didn't give and they didn't care anymore about the church or fellowshipping due to, I don't know, whatever reasons there were before I arrived at the church. And mostly because this is also a very rural village. So most of the time you're gonna find that in rural villages, it's a lot of elderly people and younger children, because now the adolescents and the adults have gone out in the world to go seek like employment or greener pastures. So uh, this project was inspired by a couple of things that uh it was a, a sort of a passion for myself to have the community one see that there's no them and us when it comes to the issue of sexuality, that God can send anyone that God pleases to send. And to have a vision like this is also a mixture of um the 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 AME church has had the what do they call this? The corporation that they gave Black people loans as they were coming out of
mm,
slavery. And that type of thing, to just build community again, to restore fellowship, to restore like sharing with one another, to take care of one another, and to show one another love, more than just to say you are my brother, you are my sister in Christ. But how then do we demonstrate it or make it tangible in the environment that we are, with the resources that we have? Because we had a church, but it was also just the church. It's also because it wasn't being cared for properly, it was dilapidating. So how then do we restore this piece of land that God has given us, and in a way restore spirituality, restore
mm,
fellowship, and build from this bare land something green, something lush, something that everybody can see in the community, that, oh, there's activity happening at that church that has been like that for 12 plus odd years.
mm,
That means that something must be happening. And for me, this is how this project came about. And I sat down and I spoke to the people there, that instead of doing the things that we are used to doing, why don't we dream a little bit about this? Because we are fortunate enough to have property where we
right.
can do this activity. Um, we are faced in this area with a lack of water.
Mm,
Even in that, that would make this project even more special, when all the things that we want to do with the garden and the small livestock projects start coming to life. And it will restore hope also within the community, to say that indeed God does live through this um tangible things like the garden blooming. Because I have a belief that people need to see certain things in order
mm,
for them to believe that there is a God that dwells among us. And um in as much as we believe in God, when we start scattering, also the the goodness of God in us to a certain extent dwindles also, because it is the people that keeps alive a God in their communities, the people that keeps alive a belief. So that this is how, in summary, and I hope I've said this properly, this is how this vision had come about. And it was just to say, okay, what can we do? What do we have? What talents do we already have within our church
Mm.
that we can build on, because most of them are farmers, most of them do keep livestock. So it's not a skill that does not exist. It's just how do we use it in the house of the Lord so that it could benefit not only the congregation, but also the community as a whole.
So Project Restore, as I understand it, it has like basically four components to it. You're doing a garden project for environmental. You
Yes,
have animal farm as a part of this project. You're also establishing kind of a community center within the church with internet access for training
yes,
programs, and then there's the
yeah,
work itself. So and it's like this amazing little kind of four-way stop right in the center of town that you
yes,
project with. So I think that's just amazing, and that your vision for
yes,
this is very, very attainable. And the first time we spoke, I sensed your passion for this project, and it wasn't
yeah,
just something that was way out there that unattainable. But this is something that's real, and also it meets people's needs in a different kind of way.
yes.
And so, so what else about this particular project are you excited about?
I, I'm excited mostly about seeing, because we're also in a weird place in the world where we're experiencing a lot of climate change happening. So I'm excited about using basically the old ways of growing and rearing animals, and seeing how would that sort of help the environment that we live in, because most of the places that surround us, we're going through a desertification area. The soil, a lot of soil erosion, and all of these things are happening. And I'm excited about seeing if the process can be restored and
Mm.
what that does to the environment. And in a way, I'm really excited to I wonder how that would also um benefit the spirituality of people, because I believe that there is a certain connection when we grow things to become green, and just how then does that affect people in their own spirituality, and how they see God, and how they interact with God. So I'm excited to see those two aspects working out in real time with the people that I'm going to be working with, even with myself. It's not something that is outside of myself.
Mm.
Uh, and basically, as a community, how then what the effects will be, how the impacts will be, and how big and better we can grow this project. I think that's 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 something that I look forward more than anything to see come out of this project. Yes, we want it to be a self-sustaining project, and project that will benefit the community, but more so for me is how the spiritual impact between it growing this and people's spirituality. How then would that work out for us as a community?
Well, and what I also like about this project and just some of the research I've done for you, this also sounds like a project that could be replicated in other
Mm,
areas. And so I think
yeah,
you are very much own to something, especially, I mean, what resonated with me just in is around the spirituality part of it. That is,
yeah,
as this project grows and changes people, people also will change and want to grow with it. And so I think you are
yeah,
very much linked into something that's succinct and spiritual and grounded and really meeting people what their needs and where their needs are, and
yeah.
not in this in a different place. And so, so we're looking for supporters for this project. And if you'd like to be a contributor for this particular project, Project Restore with Reverend Chantell down in Botswana, you can read the information in the comment section below, and I'll also be posted this here. But Reverend Chantell, how much are we looking to raise for this project total?
Total, we were looking to raise around five 5,000, um because we had to sort of prioritize the
Sure.
things that that would need to come first. And when we spoke to Reverend Ruben, he said, okay, prioritize things that would really benefit you at where you are right now. So the budget that we came up with was around 5,000 USD
Hmm.
for basically to install the electricity, to get the water there, to in tanks. The well would be a little bit more expensive to get the tanks and to get water in the tanks and to um cultivate the land as it is, because it's really still very dry right now. Um and to get the security aspects of everything in place just to start it out. So we were looking around 5,000 US dollars to get everything going.
Well, and I think that's certainly is realistic, and I think we're looking for ways for people to donate. We already have that set up through our website, which is at sunshinecathedral.org/give, through the Global
Mm.
Justice Institute, and all funds raised for this project will go directly back to Reverend Chantell in Botswana for this particular project. So, if you're looking to make a donation, we're willing to receive that, and we'll make that happen. And Reverend Chantell, as we wrap up today, I just want to thank you for your vision. I want to thank you for your passion. I want to thank you for being out about who you are and that your congregation and your community appreciates you being out and living your life as you believe God has called you to live it. So thank you so much for doing that. And so I just want to give you an opportunity for any parting words or any last thoughts you want to share with us.
Um, I want to thank in advance everyone who will be contributing to this project. It might seem small, but for other people, it will be a huge thing and it will impact their lives in ways that's maybe sometimes we take for granted. And I just want to say thank you, and to Bishop, thank you also for helping us raise these funds, and may God keep and bless all of you. Um and that's we're looking forward and excited to show you when the project is up and running how it has has been.
Excellent. And I want again thank you, Reverend Chantel. I also want to thank Reverend Robin Gorsline, who's a part of this project as well with the Global Justice Institute, who brought this to our attention. So again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Chantel, and know that you're going to be in our prayers, and this project is in our prayers, and we're going to look to raise those funds real quick and get this project underway. So thank you so much. God bless you, and God keep you.
Thank you.